There we go. Fish. Better one. When it comes to bass fishing, crayfish-shaped lures are very, very popular. And today we're going to be taking a look at two of the most realistic crayfish baits that you can buy. See you, buddy. Hey everybody, what is going on? Brendan Miller here, back with another video. Today we are going to be taking a look at two of the most realistic crawfish lures that you can buy. We're going to be taking a look at the Savage 3D Crayfish, and we're also going to be taking a look at the LiveTarget hollow-bellied craw. Now, the Savage 3D Crayfish has been around for a couple of years, but the hollow-bellied craw by LiveTarget is a relatively new bait, and let me tell you, it was very hard to get my hands on these. All of the major tackle websites had these things back-ordered for a long period of time, so I had to find some guy on eBay that would sell me some of these jigs. Nevertheless, I got a hold of them, and now it's time to talk about them. The first bait we'll be taking a look at is the Savage 3D Crawfish. This bait basically looks like they took a 3D scan of a crawfish and then made a lure out of it. It is that good. It is comprised of a basic plastic body with a little air bubble in there to enable this bait to stand up in a defensive position. The plastic is quite tough, especially down towards the tail. It's got two little plastic pincers on the front, two tiny plastic antennas, and a bunch of plastic legs, and two really cute plastic eyes that are painted black. When it comes to detail, this bait is the most realistic crawfish lure I have ever seen, hands down. It looks super cool. Now on to the LiveTarget hollow-bellied craw. This is a very different bait from the Savage 3D Crayfish. This is more of a jig style bait, but it does look really realistic. We have a basic body right here that is hollow, like the name implies. It has two pincers in the front that are comprised of a very tough material, and we have a tiny little skirt out the front like a normal jig would have. We also have a hook right here, so when the bass bite down, the hollow belly collapses and the hook is exposed. One of the coolest things about this bait is the jig head itself. It is designed to look like the curled tail of a crawfish, and it complements the bait very well. When it comes to the detail on this bait, there is not as much detail as the Savage 3D Crawfish. However, we still get some detail. You got two little eyes right here. You get a number of raised bumps on the outside of the craw to kind of give it some texture. The jig head also has a little bit of texture, but overall, this bait is a pretty simple design. These baits also come with a replacement set of claws so that if these claws get all torn up, you can replace it. And I gotta say, the claws themselves are fairly sturdy. The plastic feels really tough, and I don't think these are gonna rip super easily. While these baits are very different, they all have one common goal, and that is to look like a real crawfish. So let's put them in the water and see which one looks the most realistic. Now I gotta say, when I put this jig in the water for the first time, I was quite impressed with the overall profile. This bait looks like a fleeing crawfish, especially when you hop it off the bottom. The tucked tail definitely helps give it that fleeing crawfish look, and it looks really good. Obviously, real crawfish don't have silicone skirts out the front of them, but again, this is more of a bass jig than a photorealistic crawfish lure. And I gotta say, for what it is, I think this bait will be very effective. It does have a nice action in the water. The silicone skirt sprays out. The only thing I don't really like about this bait is that the claws don't really float up in the water. When a crawfish is threatened, what they'll do is put their claws up in the air, and this bait's claws just kind of hang limp. However, when you put the Savage 3D Crawfish in the water, the claws actually do raise up. They are made of a buoyant plastic, and that gives it that realistic look of a crawfish defending himself. As far as the overall action of this bait in the water, I have to say it looks really good. Like I said, the claws stand up, and the legs and the antennas and the claws shimmer with just the slightest amount of movement on the line. The only thing I wish they would have done would be to tuck the tail under the crawfish like the LiveTarget jig, just to make it look look that much more realistic. Another thing I love about this bait is that it is very versatile. Being how it's just a simple, soft plastic craw, you can rig it a ton of different ways. You can put it on a jig head, you can use some sort of a shaky head with this bait, you can even put it on a drop shot. That's how I caught that fish in the opening sequence, was with this little bait on a drop shot. It was super cool. So guys, there you go. That is my review of these two baits, and I gotta say, they are both very impressive. They both have their own unique application. For instance, this little bait would be fantastic if you were fishing for smallmouth in clear rivers, or if you were fishing in really clear lakes. Like I said, the attention to detail is fantastic. You can rig it a number of different ways. You can put it on a drop shot, put it on a jig head. However, this jig right here is more designed for flipping and pitching into tight cover. I would use this bait in the lake that I fish all the time. The water there is really stained and there's a ton of crawfish. I have no doubt I could smoke some nice bass with this bait. If I was going to pick my favorite out of these two, I would give it to the Savage 3D Crawfish. Like I said, the attention to detail is fantastic. The claws stand up in the water like a real crawfish, and you can rig it a number of different ways, which makes this bait very versatile. So guys, there you go. That is my review of these two baits. They both are really great. Before you go, guys, I want to let you know about one thing that is going on with the channel. You may have noticed that a lot of my videos don't have comments enabled on them right now. I don't even know if this video will have comments enabled on it. YouTube has shut off comments on a lot of my videos, and they've assured me that this is temporary. They're going through some, I don't know, thing. There have been a number of small channels that have had comments disabled on their videos, and YouTube has assured me that this is kind of a temporary thing. They're working through some stuff with their algorithm, and I'm not sure what's going on. I am planning on getting in contact with them and seeing what is going on and see if we can enable some comments back on the videos. But yeah, just want to let you know about that. It's kind of weird. Alright, so one of my YouTuber friends, Knobtop, sent me this package, and he said I had to open it on camera, so that is what I am going to do. Oh, this is really cool. It's a little box that says "Stay Hooked" on the front of it. And I'm gonna open the top. Whoa! What the world? Knobtop, you're scaring me. What the Sam? It's one of my lures. It pops out. That's actually quite scary. Man, Knobtop, you scared me. Cool little box though. Like I said, it says "Stay Hooked" on the front of it, and it has one of my swim baits. When you open the top, it pops out at you. Very clever, Knobtop. It was a good prank.